Hi guys, sorry for the late start. I totally forgot to start streaming. Can you hear me, by the way? So we had another gap up in the major indices and now it looks like we're fading the gap. That's been the trend for a while now. Gap ups that fade. I bought some MIK near the open. I also bought some ACAD. I bought 20,000 MIK at 10 average. I had some slippage. I wanted to get it at 990, but there was a lot of slippage since it's a thin stock. So 20,000 of this. I have 12,000 ACAD at 41 average. Those are new positions today. And also I shorted some RIDA. I got in a little bit late in this thing. I have 184.74 average, so it's just shy of 185. I should have been in from like $2 higher, or $1 higher at least. But I was a little bit slow on this thing. I looked away for a few minutes and it kind of crapped out. Other than that, things look decent. Yin, should I buy it on the opening range highs? No. It needs to break. Let's see how KWeb looks good. This is a China internet ETF, but this is a very slow mover. KWeb is a super slow mover. Yin is much faster. FXI, another China ETF. Yeah, looks decent. And ASHR. Yeah, China looks good. China related things look good. They really do. Pets had earnings, very beaten down stock past couple of years, and now they still have shitty earnings, but it looks there's a turnaround coming, potential turnaround, and they beat analyst estimates, so that's why this thing is up. I did not trade it. There were so many things going on after the open, but the entry was on this first minute opening range. There may be a secondary entry when it takes out the highs for the day, but I think it's gonna, I don't know. I'm not so sure about this thing. SGen, let's see, what news did it have? It's a biotech stock, exactly. So they met primary endpoint in their study. So these things are, I don't know. I usually don't trade them. Primary endpoint met. It does look kind of good. It's about to retake its 200-day moving average. And MIK, I bought it near the open today. 20,000 at $10 average. ACAD also bought 12,000 at 41 average. And RIDA, I am a short some, but I'm probably gonna get stopped out. It kind of retook, yeah, it dipped a little bit and kind of held the rising moving average. It's still surfing this purple line, very strong. My thesis is this thing is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. It's gonna have a red day eventually, and it's kind of, you know, it's up 132% in 8 sessions. It's gonna have a red day event. Question is it today? I'll add to this thing. I did short some more on this pop since I got a shitty average from the beginning and didn't want to do size, but my average now is 185 on 3,000 shares, and I'm willing to add a little bit more. I am willing to add a little bit more. I lightened up on this RIDA. It retook VWAP. I don't want to be short above VWAP. I lightened down. Let's see. A lot of things on my watch list were up initially with the market gap up, and now they're slowly starting to fade back. Not all of them though. Some of them are still strong. China is strong. USLV is starting to come back from the gap and fade. Silver looks really good. It just broke out of a bull flag. Like, this thing is in a very good looking bull flag. And same thing with gold. Gold hasn't broken out of its range yet, but silver has. So USLV, I'm willing to buy some if it starts to shape up. If it retakes VWAP and holds, I'm gonna buy a couple of thousand shares for a swing. Let's see, okay, ENDP, kind of fading off this declining moving average. I have sold about a quarter of this thing into strength from my 380-ish entry. So I'm in from way lower. So this is a free trade. Even if it stops me out, it's gonna be a profitable trade. I was up almost, yeah, I was up pretty much 50k on it, and now it's fading back. So We'll see. I think in this thing, if it doesn't stop me out, it could go to 6-7 bucks. So far, so right now it's in a range. MNK, I mean, it's still, I raised my stop a little bit. You see penny is still in this bull flag. IGV had great follow through from my Friday entry. Remember, I shorted it on the opening range lows on Friday. I shorted it 210. I chased it a little bit, had great follow through. So this thing I'm still holding. I haven't moved my stop. No, I think this thing could be a potential multi-month hold. Rita, I'm stalking for a potential re-entry. It reclaimed VWAP. If it starts kind of putting in lower highs and looks like it's gonna break below VWAP again, I'm gonna add full size. I'll have 4, 5, maybe even 6,000 shares of this thing. It all depends on the setup. Again, it's up 130%. It's up in 8 days. It's up 8 days in a row. It's gonna have a red day eventually. Nothing goes up forever. So that's pretty much what I'm looking for. And it's also easy to borrow, so that's a good thing. Okay, some more alerts triggered. TDOC and SCDG. Okay, the solar stock SCDG is super strong. Another solar stock, EMPH, that I was long for many months and it stopped me out below this 50-day. Or was it when it broke up below this pivot here that it stopped me out? I don't remember where I got stopped out. But I did overstay on it, unfortunately. Okay, OPK fading and it's declining 200-day. HAL is coming off lows with some news, but there's nothing really here. MIK, okay, RIDA. Okay, now it retested its VWAP. Retested the VWAP. Now, if it can bounce back a little bit to like mid 186s or something, mid-low 186, put in lower highs, that's when I'll be looking for a potential re-entry if it's gonna bounce. Damn, it's not bouncing. I'm gonna put in an order at 185. Hopefully, it can at least bounce there. Yep. Things are, yeah, small caps had a big gap up and now we're fading. Russell got rejected off this range again. That's been a big resistance area for the whole year. We retested it again and it's fading off of that. Netflix is weak. Had its earnings gap up and fade last week and now it looks like it wants to go lower. BNGO, big runner from last week, had an offering this AM. Shouldn't be a surprise to anyone since they had it in their filings that the offering was ready. But again, I didn't have the confidence to short it any of these days. Both of these days here, I think it's Friday and Wednesday, it faded. On Friday, I think it faded like 65% off its size. On Wednesday, and on Friday it faded 50% off its size. So that's some insane range intraday. Both for long and short side traders, but I didn't touch that there. Beamy is taking out highs of the day. Okay, so this RLGY has retaken its declining 150-day moving average, which has been a resistance for about 2 years now. And so far it looks like it has retaken it and it's now in an uptrend. It's in a multi-month uptrend now. I'm just gonna hold. I think this thing could go back to 10, 12, 14 very easily. All you need to do is trail the shares. I'm gonna sell some into strength and trail the rest. I think a retest of the declining 200 days, very possible. And maybe you can even reclaim that. Okay, Rida reclaimed the VWAP again. I'm gonna use this low 187s as the stop for my ads and 188.50 for the rest. It's kind of choppy right now. See if we can put in another lower high here. This RAD is another beaten down stock, down a lot in the past 3-4 years, and now it's kind of bottoming. It's building a little bit of a triangle pattern here off the low, just below its declining 200-day moving average, which has been a resistance area for at least 3 years. So this is another one I'm stalking. NAK, TNK, and a couple of other shippers are kind of flagging. They're weak today, but they're building flag patterns. Something I keep an eye on, but they're not ready yet. Okay, China is looking weaker now. Took out the opening range highs and now it's fading lower. See what's Rida doing. so far it has setting 3 lower highs if you look at the 1 minute chart, but there is no setup to add yet. From now on I'm gonna look at it on the 5 minute chart. Because there's too much noise on the 1 minute chart. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing fades. Let's see, it's down 189. It's down about $4 from the highs, and I wouldn't be surprised if it fades another $5 to $7. It'd easily fade another $5 to $7. I was very close to getting stopped out of my ad, and I accidentally shorted a few more than I wanted to, or I kind of put 1,000 shares at 185 and another 1,000 186 short, and then I had another small ad, I think, somewhere in there. So I'm short just shy of 5,000 shares right now, and I'm willing to add another couple of thousand. This has the potential to be a $50,000 day trade. Definitely watching this one closely. This BIMI, I hope this thing does something crazy. I hope it goes to $10 plus today. It could very easily surprise. There's a lot of stocks like BNGO, SCS, they faded back and they couldn't bounce. But this BIMI faded back and now it's bouncing, and I'm not sure what the shorts are thinking about this one. I wouldn't want to be short this thing, especially not with the borrow fees you have to pay for it. What's the news on HAB? Did it have earnings? Okay, they had earnings. They lost money. Or they didn't lose money, but they're declining EPS and declining revenue. So MIK has kind of faded back to just below my entry. ACAP keeps going. Just took out the highs of the day. Small caps are fading back off their gap up highs. And REIDA just took out VWAP again. So I have just shy of $1 million position in this thing, and I think, especially on a swing basis, this thing could easily fade back $10, $15. I don't know if they had their offering yet. Usually these biotech stocks, they have an offering after they gap up on good data. Let's see. Have they had an offering yet? Nope, they haven't. I put in another short order at 185 on this REIDA. Because now it has definitely set in 2 lower highs on the day. Okay, it doesn't look like it wants to bounce now. Yeah, it's weakening, definitely weakening now. There is some support at 180, which is this purple line, which has acted as a support for the whole run. And the second resistance is here at 172, which is the yellow line. There could be $10 to downside easily. If not today, then the next couple of days. But I don't think this is one of these stocks that's gonna fade back and give back all of its mood. This is the real deal. This is not a pump like this BIMI and SCS and BNGO, these microcap names that got pumped, low floats. This is a real stock. It's a mid-cap stock, 5.2 billion market cap. So this is definitely not a low float pump. This is the real deal. So I don't think it's gonna fade back and to like $100 or something. Definitely not. It's a real stock with real data, with real funds buying. Oh wow, ACAD having nice follow through. Again, I'm long 12k at 41. I chased it a little bit. I probably should have bought it a bit earlier, but there were so many things going on and I kind of missed it. Yeah, looks good. Had some good data a couple of months ago. Then it kind of faded a little bit because the market was so poor. Especially the biotech market has been really poor for the past couple of years. And especially the last few months. But it's been holding up well. Found support in this rising 20-day, and now it's surfing the rising 20-day and put in a little bit of a flag formation here. Now it's breaking out of it. So I'm pretty much risking a little bit less than $1 to make, I don't know, I mean $4, $7, maybe even 10. I mean, I don't know where it can go. If the market weakens, it's probably gonna fade back. But if the market doesn't weaken, you know, it showed some big relative strength when the market went down, and you know, it could go. So now I built some exposure here past couple of weeks and this week. Now I have 10 positions. So this is more a bit of a normal kind of a exposure for me. Not the 2, 3, 4 positions I had like last week and the week before that. REIDA, yeah. Now it's fading. I'm gonna cover some Rita. I'm gonna cover some small, tiny. I'm also gonna try to short some more if it pops back to VWAP. ACAD. You know what? I'm selling some ACAD also. So I'm up 3% on it. Need to lock in some. That's a big move in less than an hour. 3% in less than an hour. That's a very nice move. Yeah, RLGY looking great. And look at the chart. I mean, look at the 60-minute, or even look at the daily chart. This thing has been building higher lows for 2 months. Just look at the chart. Look at this. Higher lows for 2 months. It's kind of a no-brainer. And I initially bought it here when I started streaming, if you remember. But I got stopped out, I think here, for a small loss. And then it kind of kept going higher. So I rebought it here last week. A little bit higher, but I couldn't ignore the higher lows. Just couldn't. Had to rebuy it, even if it was higher. This is similar action in MIK also, you know, building higher lows for over a month. Right now it's just shopping around. I have my stops in on these lower highs. If it starts retaking these lower highs, I'm gonna I'm gonna stop myself out. I really do think this thing has $5 to $7 of additional downside today, and maybe even $10-12 on a swing bait. My case fading back a little bit from my entry. ACAT super strong. Okay, OPK is about to go red, or not red, but this thing has gone down far too much to be in any stock. Let's see here. SGen, nice volume. Wow, SGen, if you look at a longer term chart, this thing has been building higher lows for 3 years, and now it took out a little bit of a range. Been going sideways for a year, and now it's going higher on news. This thing could be a potential multi-month hold, definitely. But again, I don't really see an edge here for myself personally. Earnings season is coming up, so there will be a lot of earnings related trades, and I'm gonna focus on those ones. Like biotech news, I have a hard time to have conviction on those things. I usually have better conviction on earning. Pets looks good, but can it have follow through on this earning speed? Guys, do you have any questions? Just ask. I'm gonna cut the stream soon, since now the markets are kind of slowing down and not much going on. I'm probably not gonna do much the rest of the day. I'm just gonna manage my positions, and I'm watching a few things like this SCS. If it starts breaking higher, there could be a trade here, a shorter term trade, but definitely not until. Probably not today. I'm thinking, you know, it could potentially bounce like this BIMI did. Rita, I'm just managing this thing. Near VWAP, I'm gonna add a few more. I had 5,000 shares short. I sized down a little bit, and I'm thinking about adding another 1,000 here at 185, and then use these lower highs as my stop areas. That's my game plan for the rest of the day. Main things that get your attention in the earnings report. Well, let's take an example. Okay, let's look at some examples like Meili. Now this one I fucked up for some reason, but when you have these, you know, longer term charts, when you have a stock that's been going up for multiple years and then going sideways for a long time, like this Meili was in early February when it reported earnings, and then it had a big beat. It beat analyst estimates. They had, you know, decent growth rate. This is a large cap stock, so it's not necessarily, those are not necessarily growing explosively, and big estimates. 2020 they're gonna be profitable, and this is a leading South American, and you know, had a big earnings cap up above this range. So you can find good trades, low risk, high reward trades in these things when they take out long ranges. A stock that's been in a long-term uptrend has been going sideways for a while, say 6 months or a year or even more. And then they break out on big volume, earnings speed, some nice growth. And this is an example. Like these things you can trade for the longer term and just trail the stop. Now I did trade it on this day, but for some reason I got stopped out. I don't know why. I think I bought it on the opening range highs or pre-market, and then it had kind of a shook me out, and then it went without me, and I never bought it back. Another one that I did trade perfectly was this Roku. Same thing. I've been talking about this thing a lot on the stream. Had some big earnings, big analyst beat, been in a multi-year kind of an uptrend, but it had big growth, big analyst estimate. They beat the analyst estimate. It just went, and the next earnings report the same thing. So that's what I'm looking for. Stocks that have been going sideways or have been kind of neglected for the past 6 months, a year, maybe even a couple of years, that are preferably in a longer term uptrend, and then they have an earnings gap up on big analyst beat. They have good growth, like revenue, earnings growth, and big volume. Those are the things I look for. Same thing EMPH. So it's the same thing over and over again. And usually you can find 1, 2, 3, sometimes even more really good ones per earnings report. And I'm talking about large and mid cap ones. If you look at small and the micro cap space, there are even more. But I don't really trade the small and micro cap names anymore. My accounts are way too big. I'll end up holding 30 positions, like if I would trade smaller stocks. That's why sometimes, or actually a lot of times, when I see something good in the small and micro cap space, I just ignore it, because I can't trade everything. I can't be in everything. Okay, Rida bouncing back a little bit, I think. Okay, a little bit. So that's what I'm looking for in earnings during earnings season. I'm confident we are going to find a couple of good ones for you guys. Things where you can risk $1 to potentially make $30 or $50 over a period of months and maybe even quarters. I'm pretty confident we will find a couple of. Some we will mistrade. We will get shaken out. Some we will miss. And some we will trade perfectly. And that 1 or 2 that we trade perfectly is gonna pay for 50 losers. But you're probably not gonna have 50 losers to find that one you trade perfectly. You're maybe gonna have 5 losers. So there's a lot of money to be made if you know what to look for and with a little bit of patience. Nothing magic about it. It's a very simple process. You need to do the same things over and over again. My Twitter stream has died now. Totally died off, which means there is nothing moving right now, or things are in red. Look at some of my watch list. So Snap had a big rally the whole year, and now it found support on the rising 150-day, and it looks like it wants to be bottoming here. So there may be a setup here. They actually report tomorrow. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure I'm gonna trade it though, unless they have a big earnings, big analyst beat. Since this rally started with an earnings report, so I don't know how much surprise there could be in the stock. I think a lot of is priced in, but we'll see. Twitter found support at the rising 150-day, touched it, and now it's just going back into range. This is something it also reports in a few days. Maybe it needs an earnings report to go. There's definitely things I'm excited about. The next 3 to 4 weeks are gonna be, there's gonna be a lot of opportunities. Unless the market totally breaks down. But if it doesn't, there will be opportunities, even if the market is not gonna go up. As long as the market doesn't go down a lot, there will be money to be made. IPHI, if you remember, I was long it a couple of weeks ago, got stopped out last week. I think I got stopped out on Friday actually, for a small loss, but it's still holding. Look at this white line. It found support on this so many times. Reporting in a couple of weeks. I have an alert set on it. If it breaks out again, even if it does it before earnings, I'm gonna buy this thing. Okay, SC, another big winner from this year. Big revenue growth. Found support on its rising 200-day. Like, there's a lot of stocks like that. A lot of stocks that found support on their longer term rising moving average. It's kind of hard to be bearish when I see charts like that. Mail is another one I've been stalking for a while. I talked about this one, and now it's been going sideways for 6 months. So if it has another good earnings report that beats the analyst estimates, there could be a nice trade in it. Definitely. Possible to do this swing strategy with full time? Yeah, absolutely, guys. You only need like an hour per day. you need to be around, say, about or let's say an hour before the market opens until maybe 30 minutes to an hour after the market has opened. So you need to be around for around an hour or 2 hours to find these things and trade them, because most of the time you find them in after hours and pre-market, especially large and mid-cap ones, since they usually have a lot of volume in pre and after hours, in pre-market and after hours. So that's when you find them. You can find them even the night before, scan for stocks that are gapping up on volume in after hours, and then you do the same scan in pre-market. That's when you find them. Look at the ones that are up, say 4% or more on more than 100,000 or a couple of $100,000 traded in pre-market. And then you look at growth, big growth, analyst beat, and a nice looking chart. That's all you need. All you need is to find 1, 2, 3 per earnings season that you trade well, and that's gonna pay for so many losers. So there's not gonna be candidates every day, not even during the earnings season. MIK was close stopping me out, and now it looks like he wants to possibly bottom, hopefully. Oh my god, ACAT, so strong. Very good to see. This is how a breakout, this is how what a good breakout looks like. Just go. You feel like you chased it, and then it just keeps going higher on big volume, or at least on decent volume. This thing definitely has above average volume. This is what a good breakout looks like. This is an erection. This is an erection candle compared to this MIK that had an erection candle, but then it just kind of faded off, and now it's below my entry. But it could still work. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as it doesn't stop me out, this thing could very, very easily work. But I prefer the ones that don't fade back, obviously. So silver is fading from its gap up, and gold is still in its base. And between like Roku and EMPH, which were two of my best trades this year, I mean, at one point I was up, and there was one more. Which one was it? Oh yeah, Nugget. Okay, Nugget. This wasn't an earnings trade. This was purely a technical trade. But between EMPH and Roku, they were big movers. I didn't have any crazy size on any of them. But you know, I was up probably around close to 400 to 500k on these two. And then in mid-August they both kind of reversed back, and I gave back a little. Well, actually, yeah, I gave back probably 150k in profit, but they were still, you know, big trades, both of them. So it all depends how big how much of your account you want to put in these things. I usually do 10 to 20% of my account in a good earnings trade that is liquid enough, but obviously one can do more or less. It's all about what you're comfortable with and how big of a confidence, conviction you have in the setup. I've been doing the earnings trades for many years. I've been doing them probably since 2012. Nah, not 2012. 2013, 2014. So you'd say 5 years. So it takes a little bit of time to kind of learn what works and what doesn't work. So this is why I passed on the pets. It's probably gonna work just because I passed on it. It looks good today, but I don't know. I don't know. It does look a little bit of like a turnaround situation, but I'm not really confident. Rida. Yeah, okay, now it faded off this VWAP again. Now it's starting to look even weaker, since it couldn't even touch the VWAP. These two previous times it overshot through VWAP, and now it kind of faded before it even hit VWAP. So that's, for now at least, that's a sign of weakness. That's exactly what you want to see, and hopefully it holds up in this 182 to 186 range for the rest of the day, and then late day has a breakdown and goes down another $5-6. That would be an ideal scenario if it kind of holds up the rest of the day, and then in the last hour or so breaks down through a tight range. That's a scenario I could add another 2,000-3,000 shares to this thing. And right now it's by far my largest position, a little bit over $1 million position. So 5% move is gonna be a 50k profit, but we'll see. Or it's gonna be a loss, I don't know. But I'm really excited about this thing. It's up 8 days in a row. Something has to give. Another country that looks very strong, that's setting up nicely together with China, that's Brazil. And actually emerging markets overall, setting up really nicely. Yeah, definitely BFH log, swing trading, and especially kind of earnings trades that I do, the position trades in big earnings winners, you know, you really don't need a lot of screen time to find and trade those. During earnings season, you know, 1 to 2 hours per day of screen time, and you know, then you set a stop and you don't have to look at it for a month. Just hold it until it stops you out, and you know, trade your stops, of course. Wow, ACAD, what a beast! I'm finally starting to get some traction. The past couple of weeks have been a little bit annoying, but now now a bunch of things I bought had some multi-day and multi-week follow through, like ENDP. Well, not JCP, this one is still only up a little bit, but things like IGV, now it's kind of bouncing a bit, but it's still well below my entry. TIVA, well, this didn't go up a lot, but RLGY also straight up from where I bought it. I don't know, it feels a little bit like a character change. Maybe we are starting to shape up for another leg higher. You can't ignore the action in the indices, they're just so strong. We get a lot of negative data almost daily. There's this manufacturing data is bad, and all these trade wars and Brexit, and oh, it's the economy softening up, blah blah blah, yada yada. But indices are building higher lows, they're flagging. Price action tells me we're gonna go higher. Alright, Rita. If it goes down a little bit more, I'm gonna cover a few more. In 5 minutes I'm gonna do my hourly rotation, and then I'm gonna cut the stream. You know my game plan, you know my positioning. There is not much more to add. The MIK is weakening again, unfortunately. Yeah, Rita has built 3 lower highs now, and it's below Viva. This 182 is a big area. If you look at the 5-minute chart, if you look at this white line, it's been riding this white line for many days now, and this 182.30 break looks like a big area. So if it can go sideways for at least a couple of more hours and then break down, that's gonna be a high conviction trade for me. AMD is strong. Wow, Beamy fading back now. I couldn't hold it up for much longer than this. I was really hoping it would go to 10 bucks today. If you have any more questions, just ask. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to start stream a little bit earlier. I've been starting the streams kind of late, and today I was really late since I totally forgot I'm streaming now. I didn't even think about it. I realized like 10 minutes after market open, oh shit, maybe I should stream. So I'm still getting used to this. But tomorrow I'm gonna, since the earnings season is coming, I'll try to stream earlier so we can find setups together, find potential earnings trades together, so you can see what I'm looking for. Let's look at the earnings calendar. So yeah, so today is kind of a slow, only 13 earnings. Tomorrow 60 earnings. Wednesday 105. Thursday 142, and Friday 29. And the next week is gonna be a lot heavier. On Wednesday next week we're gonna have 200 earnings, and on Thursday 190, and the week after that is gonna be pretty heavy also. So next 3 weeks or 2 weeks are gonna be kind of heavy, and then this week is there's gonna be a lot of like ADRs, like a lot of China, Brazil stocks reporting, and like smaller cap. They usually report a little bit later on this week and on this week. So even though they're gonna be light on US earnings, there's gonna be a lot of ADRs and foreign stocks report. So yeah, I'm gonna get into the habit of starting the stream earlier so we can find great trade if the market wants us to. That is. Yeah, Rida looks like it wants to break below this 182 range now, but it could still find support on this rising white line. So we'll see. Okay, so now time for my hourly rotation. Just going through my scans. Nothing new in this scan. This scan is kind of slow, so I'll come back to it. So let's see here. No, thing is kind of setting up nicely, but it's a very slow moving stock, so this is not for me. Yeah, this is a retail stock that had a big move off the lows a couple of months ago. Semiconductor stock looking good, and this is some random name. Let's go back here. Nothing here, or nothing new. That is. OTC. Okay, Bitcoin found support on the rising 200-day so far. Look at ETFs, nothing new. Okay. Okay, thank you for joining today. Sorry for the late start. And I will try to do everything so we can start earlier tomorrow and find some setups for you guys who are trading part-time and can or don't want to trade for 7 hours per day and don't have the time or possibility to watch the markets during the full day. So thank you and have a great trading day.